Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about the Peavey Valve King 20 MH. Now, here's the basic thing on this. I watched a ton of videos about it. The Tone King has a great one if you want to get the perspective of all the features. It's really great. There's one that I thought was good, but the guy's not speaking English and it's subtitled and I couldn't understand what he's saying, but he was really excited about it and it sounded good. Also, there's a ton of them made by like Sweetwater and Peavey, which I hate to say, I call those infomercials. Whenever a manufacturer does their own review, that's an infomercial, because I can't get a perspective of that. Now, my concept with the Know Your Gear concept is the idea that to know what something is supposed to be used for or figure out how it's supposed to pertain to what you're doing is really more important than just buying a piece of gear that fits you, right? It's not just as easy as I buy a piece of gear and it's perfect for me. It's I have to adapt to it and then make it adapt to me, and then we become part of our instrument, right? Does it make sense? Because if you're an electric guitar player, don't ever be mistaken about this. Your instrument is strings, a guitar, the pickups, the cable, the amp, and the speaker. If you're an acoustic player, it's your acoustic. But if you're an electric guitar player, those elements make your instrument. This is not just your instrument. This is also your instrument, because without this and the speaker, you cannot complete the instrument sound, right? Okay, so all these are your instrument. Let's get to know them, right? So this amp, I want to talk about what it is first real quick. Here's what it is. It's the ultimate little metal guy's amp, okay? So it reminds me of every amp I ever played when I started playing guitar. In fact, playing it, especially through my RG550 with my little blue Saraceno pickups, was like, ah, man, I feel like I had hair and I was 15 again. So, anyways, that all being said, it was fun because it's super saturated and it's not a modern sounding amp. It's definitely a very 80s solid state kind of vibe amp. Now, here's the good thing about it. If you like the way solid state sounds, because that's a thing, sometimes guys don't like the way tube amps sound. They don't get it. They plug in and they go, hey, everybody told me I'm supposed to buy this, and I really like my blah, blah, blah at home, whether it be a Crate or a Roland or a Randall. Well, guess what? This amp will really be that kind of sound, but with tubes. The most interesting thing about this amp, the best thing I can say, the accolade of all time is, even though I feel it's really solid statey, it's really tubey to me. And considering I've owned tons of tube amps, and I really don't really consider myself an expert of tubes, but I definitely am a connoisseur of tubes, it's tubey. It's definitely got that tube vibe going. Now, the other thing is this. I will say the other impressive thing is the 1 watt, 5 watt, 20 watt feature. Out of every amp I've ever played, which won't come across the video, but this is 20 watt mode, right? Man, when you go to 1 watt, it is bone quiet. Now the video will probably compress this up and you won't hear a difference, but just trust me on this. I mean, it's like I turned from volume 10 to volume 1. It's really, really quiet. So that being said, that was really impressive. Now, so that's really great for late night play. Now, lastly, let me show you where I found the sweet spot for me. So I actually found a way to make this amp sound in a way I love it. Here's what I did. I put it in 5 watt mode. I turned this boost off, which by the way is kind of noisy. And the gain is at like, I don't know, 3 or 4, right? So 3, it's at 3. And I turn the volume up a little bit, and I get this sound. Go this, and let's turn that reverb down a little bit because I'm going to hit it a little harder now. I mean, to me, now it brings it. It's awesome. So that is the tone I prefer, and based on that, the amp is great. Now, I didn't buy this amp. I know most of the products I show you guys are actual products I bought. This amp I didn't buy, I'm borrowing it. The reason is because I know I'm going to buy the 6505 Mini, which is going to come in about 2 weeks. I'm afraid to buy this because it's kind of like buying a piece of gear you know you're not going to love is like adopting a child you know you're not going to love. It's really kind of a painful, sad thing because you don't know, it's just going to, sit there in the corner. So that thing is basically my only concern about the amp. Other than that, I'm really impressed with it. Overall, $399. I bet you used it like 2. last but not least is the clean. And the reason I saved it last is because it's really good. So there's no issues there. Let's turn the gain down on that. Oh, and the clean, like every amp, it does best in the 20 watt mode because. But you can get a bluesy tone if you go into 5 watt mode with the clean. But so again, here's what I say. This is what if you're constricted to a budget and you're looking for a small tube amp that will give you the great clean, reverb, cool features, and some good gains, this is the amp to get. But you're gonna have to play with it, experiment with it, because again, if you're a metal dude, you're in Metal Town, right? It's gonna sound like a Metal Zone pedal. It's very fuzzy. It's exactly what you're looking for. But if you're a blues guy or a rock guy or somebody in between, it will get those sounds. I pulled it out. I pulled out every sound I needed from it. I was going to do an A/B comparison to the Mark V. I thought that'd be a fun video, but here's what I figured out from that. Every way I did it, it's not that it was the Mark V was so much better. It was just that it was so different that I just don't think anybody looking at a Mark V Mini for $1,300 is really going to be satisfied if they get this amp. But the opposite, I think somebody that's not interested in the Mark V, this is a really good component. So I think it's a really good amp. We'll see. Don't be surprised if in the next couple of videos you don't see this still here because I think I might buy it anyways. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. Know your gear.